Hey, I'm Ryan Lucian and welcome to my studio here in Sydney, Australia. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself so you can get to know me better. So I started making electronic music maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And before that, I was a guitarist, I played the saxophone, played piano. I wasn't really into electronic music, I hadn't heard much of it. And then I went to my first music festival in Brisbane, Australia, where I'm from originally, and somehow found my way to the electronic stage. And I heard the massive kick drums and the bass lines and the euphoric, uplifting melodies for the first time, and just instantly fell in love and realized that's the kind of music I wanted to make. Literally the next day, I went out and bought a MIDI controller and started making terrible, terrible electronic music. And then 6 or 7 years later, here we are. The music scene in Australia for electronic music in particular is fucking sick. Like, there's so many amazing Australian artists just pushing boundaries across genres, making unique, novel music that's really driving the whole industry forward, in my opinion. And it's so motivating to see these artists out there just doing new things and pushing boundaries. And, you know, I just hope to be a part of that myself, and I really admire the Australian artists that are doing that at the moment. So the club scene where I'm from in Brisbane is amazing. You know, showing my age, there's a few of my favorite clubs that have now sadly shut down, but they've been replaced by amazing venues. In Sydney, you know, there are some iconic venues in Darlinghurst and King's Cross. Any Aussies will know what I'm talking about. But I think most importantly in Australia, the festival scene is just second to none. Like, there's basically something amazing that you can go to every month or every other month. Huge productions with the best artists from around the world, and just the people there, just absolutely top notch. I think we've got one of the best festival scenes in the world, and, you know, super lucky to have that right at my doorstep. So some of my biggest influences are the all-time greats of progressive house. You know, the Tin Lickers, Yotto, Above and Beyond, Eric Prydz. You know, literally just timeless music that will be an influence, I think, to progressive artists for many, many years to come. And I guess more recently, you know, Australians like Hayden James, Rufus Du Sol, Cassian are making some of the best music that I've ever heard, in my opinion. And it's just a massive, massive inspiration to me to keep pushing the boundaries and try and achieve that level of incredibleness. So I met Jazz through mutual contacts we had here in the Australian industry. And we were really interested in working together, so we had a couple of writing sessions and initially came up with what eventually became Tell Me Who You Are with Morgan Madison. And we were all so proud of that, and it was such a pleasure working together that we sort of said, hey, we should write some more music. And we messed around with a few ideas, some were working, some weren't, and eventually we landed on Heart Starts Beating, which came together really quickly, which is probably a sign that it was the right idea to go with. And yeah, I mean, you know, Jazz is an amazing artist in her own right, and to be able to come onto the progressive sort of genre and just absolutely kill it from day one. So lucky to be able to work with such an amazing artist, and ultimately really, really proud and stoked with the music that we've made together, and, you know, looking forward to making more music in the future. From the start and Tell Me Who You Are, yeah, the success and response to those blew me away and continues to blow me away to this day. You know, I connected with Morgan maybe a year before From the Start came out, and instantly we just love working together, and, you know, formed a really special bond and partnership. In terms of the response and the success to the records, you know, I'm just extremely grateful and thankful and humbled that it's had the impact that they have. It shows that the music that we're making really conveyed the emotional impact that we felt and wanted to when we were making it. And more than anything, you know, I just feel so grateful that at least a piece of what we felt and were trying to convey in making those records hit the mark. So hopefully we'll continue to do that in the future. And yeah, just super thankful and grateful that it's had the impact that it has. So that's a little bit more about me, Ryan Lucian. As you can see, the sun's going down, so it's time for me to jump back in and make some more music. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully you got to know me a little bit better.